If you want to see better results in life, your workouts, your physique, what you see in the mirror, do this one thing. Change your focus. Because what we know to be true is what you focus on grows. In the laws of science, Hebbs Law states, what fires together, wires together. This is why we say strength is a skill. When you practice setting up, when you practice getting tense before a heavy press, before a heavy deadlift, you're wiring particular muscles together. You're firing particular muscles together. And eventually those begin to wire together, but that wiring is only short term. And that's when dominata kicks in. So in the Strong First system, one of our principles of strength is dominata, which is Latin for the dominant thought. The dominant thought is don't focus too much on the weight. Don't make crushing and getting tense the sole focus of the lift, otherwise you'll burn yourself out. Focus on the muscles that need to fire. Focus on your posture, your positioning, but particularly focus on executing the lift. Focus on completing the lift. There's another concept called the quantum Xeno effect. So as I mentioned, this firing and this wiring is temporary. But the quantum Xeno effect is essentially a fancy word for your focus, because the power is in the focus. I believe it was Jeffrey Schwartz who talks about this in his book, You Are Not Your Brain. But we can look at that science with respect to our weight loss efforts, fat loss efforts, strength training, performance, all that. And so they state that the power is in the focus. And so what happens is when you begin to fire these muscles, these brain circuits, and you shift your focus, dominata, you shift your focus, it keeps the muscles fired together long enough to wire them together long term, creating an entirely new brain circuit. And this is how strength, performance, and habits can become automatic, because it's an entirely new brain circuit. Again, it's why we say that strength is a skill. Because eventually, when you practice that skill, when you practice wiring those muscles together, when you practice the dominant thought of seeing the lift executed, things become automatic. And this is where our habits come from. If you're having a hard time breaking your addictions to food, alcohol, sex, porn, you name it, it's because all you're doing is focusing on what you're giving up, making it nearly impossible for you to break through. If all you can focus on is what you're giving up because you're not going to be doing your cheat meals or whatever, if all you can focus on what you're giving up, or all you can focus on is how dreadful the workout's going to be, you're never going to break through. If you want to see changes in your performance with your strength training, if you want to see changes in your physique and what you see in the mirror, if you want to see changes in your life in general, change your focus, because the power is in the focus.